It's another exciting year for iPads and yet another disappointing WWDC for iPad OS. Today I want to talk about the new iPad Pro, the cool new features and accessories, and the fails that came along with this new iteration. We'll also discuss the disappointing unveiling of the new iPad OS, which left many of us users wanting more from such a powerful device. From the new camera placement to the lack of a proper filing system, there's a lot to cover. After years of waiting for a new iPad design, we finally got one. The new iPad is now Apple's thinnest product ever, sparking debate about whether a thinner iPad was even necessary. Some people appreciate the lighter weight for activities like drawing, but others would have preferred the same thickness with an improved battery life. One much needed redesign is the front camera placement, now on the side of the iPad, a change everyone agrees was a good choice. Plus, there's a sleek new space black color option. The new M4 chip was certainly a surprise to be released with this year's iPad instead of any of their computer lineups. We all know this new chip is a beast, more than capable of handling anything. This led many to believe Apple had an ace up their sleeve for iPad OS at WWDC. However, what we got was left much to be desired. One major improvement in these new iPads is the tandem OLED display, which was the primary reason why I upgraded from the 2018 iPad Pro. It features 1000 nits of full screen brightness for SDR and 1600 nits peak for HDR. This new screen is absolutely beautiful, with vibrant colors and deep blacks that make everything look stunning. Now, I haven't had a chance to test the battery extensively under different conditions like varying volume levels, brightness settings, or during intense tasks over long periods. To be honest, I never use it that long continuously, but I imagine the performance might vary depending on how you use it. However, during my typical use, which includes web browsing, media consumption, and some light gaming, the battery has held up remarkably well. Even with the stunning new display, it seems Apple's optimization with the M4 chip is paying off. Now let's dive into some of the new features and improvements that Apple has brought to the table this year. Some new hardware upgrades are obviously the M4 chip and the tandem OLED display, but in terms of accessories, we got an all-new Apple Pencil Pro. They also introduced a new Magic Keyboard, which, to be honest, doesn't seem too different from the previous models, but here's the real fumble. Apple made it impossible to use your previous Apple Pencils or Magic Keyboards with this new M4 model. People claim it's because the magnet interferes with the new camera thanks to its new position. For a company known for its world-class engineering, it feels like they could have solved this issue, but instead, it seems like a move designed with obsolescence and shareholders in mind. The same goes for the Magic Keyboard. The new iPad is now a different size and depth, making your old Magic Keyboard incompatible. This means if you're upgrading to the new iPad M4 Pro, you'll also need to invest in new accessories, which can be quite frustrating and expensive. This kind of forced obsolescence is really something that rubs me, and I'm sure many of you the wrong way. It is as if Apple wants to ensure you keep buying their latest products and accessories, rather than allowing you to continue using the ones you already own. So while the new hardware and accessories are exciting in some ways, they also come with a fair share of disappointment. It's a mixed bag that makes you wonder if Apple's priorities are more aligned with their bottom line than with providing the best user experience. Next up, let's talk about software enhancements. There are some new Pro apps announced that had me excited when I first heard about them, especially Final Cut Pro for iPad. The ability to record multiple cameras directly to the iPad is a game changer for content creators. But there's a catch. The app is subscription based. This was a huge turnoff for me, and I'm sure many of you feel the same. It's not about the affordability, it's about the principle. Everything is becoming a subscription these days, and this model feels like a plague. Soon, our monthly costs for apps, cloud services, and entertainment, and more will be well into the hundreds. This trend towards subscriptions is frustrating because it feels like we're renting software instead of owning it. Imagine the cumulative cost over the years. It feels overwhelming. I could go on about this, but that's a topic for another video. In summary, while the new software features have potential, the subscription model dampens the excitement for many of us. It's another example of how Apple's approach can sometimes prioritize continuous revenue over user satisfaction. Now, let's talk about WWDC. While there were some positive announcements, many of us were left wanting more. The good? There were some minor improvements to this year's announcements of iPad OS. Most notable, Apple is finally allowing more customization to the home screen with movable apps and different themes. Another one is the Apple Math Notes, which I think is very underrated. The ability to do complex math through handwritten notes blew my mind. Too bad this wasn't available when I was in college. The bad, the lack of major new features for iPadOS, such as Apple making a better way to multitask. Stage Manager is abysmal, allowing only, I believe, 4 apps at a time, which doesn't leave much in terms of multitasking. It's clunky and it's not that seamless to use. Or the fact that we didn't get a robust filing system. Like, come on, Apple. Pro is in the name, and this is anything but Pro. The disappointing, missing features that could fully utilize the M4 chip. Give us access to desktop applications or give developers more incentive to make more robust, fleshed out apps for the iPad instead of them wanting to only focus on their desktop counterparts. Despite the lackluster software updates, the M4 chip holds immense potential that could revolutionize how we use the iPad. Let's start with its raw power. The M4 chip is a powerhouse, capable of handling the most demanding tasks with ease. Whether you're a professional video editor, a 3D artist, or a hardcore gamer, the M4 chip can handle it all. But here's the kicker. The iPad M4 Pro could be so much more with the right software. Imagine having a more laptop-like experience with true multitasking capabilities. Picture this. You're editing a video in Final Cut Pro while simultaneously running a high-res photo edit in Photoshop, all without a hitch. The M4 chip can handle this, but iPadOS, as it stands, holds it back. Another area where the M4 chip shines is AI and machine learning tasks. For developers, this means creating more sophisticated and responsive apps. For everyday users, it translates to smarter, faster performance in apps we use daily. Let's talk about gaming with the M4 chip. The iPad could rival dedicated gaming consoles. The graphics are crisp, the frame rates are smooth, and the overall experience is incredibly immersive. If Apple invested more in gaming development for iPadOS, we could see a whole new realm of mobile gaming possibilities. In summary, the M4 chip is a beast that is currently caged by the limitations of iPadOS. With better software support, the iPad could easily rival and even surpass traditional laptops in many areas. It's all about whether Apple decides to unleash this potential. My thoughts on the new iPad M4 are positive. I think it's an amazing device. The OLED display is phenomenal, probably one of the best displays I've had the pleasure of using. The power in this is unmatched, that everything runs without a hiccup. Maybe too much power, where I feel like it is a lot of wasted potential. But the lack of fully configured Pro apps, well, it just leaves me with this device that I use mostly for script making, light gaming, and overall media consumption, which doesn't really justify the price of the name Pro. Some of the features I am excited about are the customization and the possibility of more Pro apps coming to the iPad, and of course the Math Notes app, which I probably won't utilize at all, but the idea of it excites me. Some things that disappointed me are mainly the horrible file management, even when doing something simple like edits on PDFs. The whole PDF reloads and makes me start my work all over again. Another thing is Stage Manager, how lackluster and clunky it feels. But the future of iPad looks bright. I can see this being a true laptop alternative. I could see the filing system being overhauled and improved, making this a whole lot better to work on. As well, with Stage Manager or a new design on how we multitask on the iPad can make it feel that much more smooth, especially Pro apps and the mobile gaming scene. The more Apple invests into the development of tools that make designing Pro apps and porting games makes me see the iPad being something Steve Jobs originally envisioned. I believe one day we will get all those and more if Apple listens to its user base and implements simple things, finally making the iPad a true laptop replacement or alternative for Pro users and regular users alike. What do you think? Is the iPad M4 Pro worth the investment, or do you see it as a missed opportunity? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you found this video interesting or helpful, be sure to check out these other videos right here. Thanks for watching. This is Euro the Hero. Peace out.